Hey, this is Matt with Fetch a Wrench. I'm back again to show you guys how I come up with estimates for all my job requests. Stay tuned, I'll show you exactly how I do that. So the first thing you do is you have to get a VIN. If you don't get a VIN, things can be a little complicated. So I've had numerous customers give me the wrong year, make, and model. I started off just asking year, make, and model and engine size, and it got me into a couple pickles, and it's not worth it. So get a VIN, start there. That way you'll get their actual details and specs of the vehicle that you're going to be working on. It's what shops do. They get VINs. It's nothing crazy or invasive, so they shouldn't worry about giving you their VIN. This video is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to get you guys recording down here on my screen, and you guys can follow along here, and I'll show you guys all the resources I use to find my estimates. All right, the first website I usually use is Your Mechanic. So here's Your Mechanic. You come in here and you punch in your zip code, and then you've got selection where you select your car. So we'll do Toyota 2017 Sienna. I just did some front brake pads on the Toyota Sienna. We'll get rid of that. So front brake pads, and I did rear actually, but we'll just do front. Alright, so this is giving me an estimate of $245 for just pads and labor. Pads $85, labor $145 for approximately, we'll skip the rotors just for the heck of it, 1 hour. So if you add rotors, that's going to bump it up to 1 hour and 15 minutes and bump up the estimate to $462. So 15 more minutes of labor and then $180 in rotors. So yeah, this is a pretty cool website. I go here a lot, and what I really like about this is if it's a vehicle like, say, well, let's pick another one here. Let's do a Camry. It'll give you the engine sizes here. So I really like that because it'll let me know what kind of engines I could potentially be working with. So say I get a spark plug request, and we've got a V6 or a 4-cylinder option. That's obviously going to make a pretty big difference as far as spark plugs go. So this is where I usually start. Kind of gives me a good starting point. So the next website I like to use is this Napa Auto Care Repair Estimator. Same thing, punch in your year. We'll stick with that Sienna, Toyota Sienna, and we'll pick front brake pads. So scroll up here. We got brakes, brake pad replacement. Let's get an estimate. So here, this is showing pads are $129 and labor $135. So labor is cheaper than Your Mechanic, but pads are more expensive. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll take this lower labor rate and the lower parts and kind of combine them. So for the most part, my brake jobs run about $200, $180, $200 for pads and labor, and then with rotors, that's right around $400 is what I charge. The last website that I usually use is called OpenBay. It's another similar website as the previous two. You do the same thing. You punch in your zip code here, and we'll do brake pads just to keep it consistent. We'll do front. Continue, and we'll just go with this Highlander. I did some brake pads for a Highlander not too long ago. And within 30 seconds, you got some estimates. So we can sort it by price. This is pads and rotors, $450, and then middle range $686 and upper range $730. So quite expensive for pads and rotors. So that's why mobile mechanics are awesome and can save customers a lot of money. And then lastly, if I'm having some issues on finding an estimate, I'll go to ChatGPT here, and I'll just punch in this question, how long should it take? We'll do front struts on a 2007 Honda Ridgeline. So I've got a Ridgeline to do later this week or next week. And I couldn't really find a great estimate on how long it should take. Your Mechanic said 3 hours and 15 minutes. Napa said maybe an hour, hour and a half. And so this is saying 1 hour per side, or if I'm doing the front end, it should be about 2 hours. So that's what I went with. I thought the 3 hours and 15 minutes was a little long, and an hour is probably about right. It usually takes about an hour per string. Those pesky sway bar and links, they can be a real bear to get off. So I usually increase my estimate a little bit because of those, and then I usually replace those as well because they usually get ruined. So yeah, there you have it. That's how I get my estimates. I've been doing this for the last 3 years, and it's worked really well for me. These sites have never gone down on me. They've always come through, and I've always gotten an estimate that way. So yeah, it's pretty good, cool process. That way you stay consistent. And then the next thing is really determining what you're going to charge per hour. You can figure out how many hours it's supposed to take and then how much you're going to charge based on your own hourly rate. When I first started, I charged $60 an hour. I felt like I wanted to charge $1 a minute. And what that did for me is I left a job where I was making $30 an hour. And so I wanted to double that and work half as much and make roughly the same. That was my goal. Year 2, I was just crazy busy and I wanted to get less busy, and so I charged $80 an hour. And now my 3rd year in, I'm charging $100 an hour, and so $25 every 15 minutes is kind of how I figure that out. And so you want to kind of come up with something that's gonna make sense in your head where you can do the math pretty quickly on the spot. You know, I'll throw a customer a bone every now and then. If I'm only there for 15 minutes, I'm gonna charge them $25-$30 instead of my full hour come out fee. That goes a long way. Customers usually appreciate that. And if it's on my way home or something, you know, it's not that big of a deal. And so, yeah, sometimes I'll be nice and just tell the customer, normally I charge $100 for a service request or an inspection, but those only took me 30 minutes, so how's $50 sound? And they're usually, you know, really happy about that. And then that's one easy way to gain a returning customer. If you have any questions on my process, feel free to comment below and I'll get with you and let you know my thoughts on it. So yeah, thanks for watching my content. I appreciate my subscribers, my followers, my fetchers. I'm hoping to gain some more fetchers, so if you like this content, please like, share, and subscribe, and I will fetch you later.